Today, Precarious plays
Hades. I forgot to mention probably like the most important part of the lambent plume and the pierced butterfly as well.
Mm-hmm.
They create a situation where I'm pretty sure that the bonus needs to be, it needs to be consecutive.
Mm-hmm.
So you're rewarded for putting it on sooner. At the start of the run would be ideal. Oh, I missed the gold urn.
Too busy looking at those lambent plumes.
Yeah, so it's so radiant, you know?
I'm gonna be really embarrassed if I look up the word lambent later and it's like leather bound. It's like, what?
You know what? Me too. Actually, no. I would look at that and I would say, well, that doesn't make any sense in context. I don't feel guilty at all for...
No.
I was just telling you what the word should mean.
I know, it has the word lamb in it. Maybe it's just for a specific kind of leather. Now I'm worried.
Yeah, lamb bent, it's actually just hard work on a farm.
Oh, yeah.
A farm or a ranch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The farmer's pen.
Oh, dang it.
I love whole language is fun because it's so weird and inconsistent.
I hate that. And I hate that you like that. I'm looking forward to the day where there's a slight delay, there's a slight screening process.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically you have to sign off on what you're thinking,
Yeah.
just in case. And then you just think it and it's done. And the emotions,
11001011.
the emotions are just conveyed telekinetically. Wow, yep, that's a big number.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man, faster.
You lived as
Yeah, 86. The bull crap. You know, and I should probably point out a couple of permanent upgrades that you can get from the house contractor.
Yeah.
So these troves, I don't know if they start in the game at all. You can unlock them and improve them over time with the house contractor. At this point, if I can complete one quickly enough, they're usually very valuable, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been a little disappointed because a couple of times when we've been playing here on the show, I've been at full health and found a health one.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, man, I hope that I'm running up to one. I hope that treasure trove has health. And it's like, oh, it's darkness. And then I just leave. Another thing is that a lot of the upgrades that are, a lot of the rewards, a lot of the room rewards that are weaker in the late game once Precarious is a little more developed, you can unlock permanent upgrades for them. So darkness rooms also provide a small maximum health bonus. I'm going to go to the key room here because it gives me another D20 to re-roll shops and boon choices. And it's not like that from the start, but it makes the keys, which fall off pretty quickly, I would say. Like, I stopped needing keys sooner than any other resource. That's just that.
It's
you know,
really strong.
you know what I want. You know what I really want.
What do you want?
What I really, really want. Is
Yeah,
that
what
where
do
you're
you
headed?
really, really want? Yes, I had stopped myself because sometimes my constant breaking into song lyric is a little annoying. But I'm glad you did that for me and made it okay. Thank you, friend.
Oh no, it was still a form of chastisement.
That's okay. I had fun.
Okay, so we might get something. If Hermes notices, if Hermes Senpai notices our lambent plume, we might get some interesting dialogue.
But what do you really want?
I want.
get it.
What is it? What was I thinking? Dang. Oops. Ouch. Didn't feel great. I cannot remember for the life of me. I can't remember what I was just thinking about.
Well, I was talking about how strong your build is right now.
Chaos has evolved.
And there was something related to...
Who's that guy?
Oh, he's just a little magma friend. Just a
Okay.
little magma family.
I can't believe I never noticed before.
See, they're into polyamory.
Yeah, they're
A
cool
little
with
sexy little hot pile, a pile of hotness. Damn it. There's something about the special. Oh, I remember. It's Olympian Gods, Artemis. What's it called? Not exit wounds. Support fire. I want this. I'm hoping that whenever, if you hit with an attack or a special, you fire a seeking arrow. I hope that each of these is tracked individually.
Yeah, because then you could just double.
Yeah, and you just spew a little fountain of arrows that also home in.
That does sound good.
Hey, looking like you're getting some good use out of that fancy plume of yours. Keep going like that. Maybe someday you'll be half as quick as me.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah, it's not terrible. No, I think I'm gonna go with rush delivery. So this ability, I think it's not his, it doesn't take the place of his legendary, but it has pretty strict requirements and it can be quite powerful. So I kind of like, it occupies the same mental space as a lot of the legendary boons. You already have to have a bonus to your speed before you talk to Hermes. So normally it requires meeting him twice in one run. So I'm going to take that and then I hope, okay, there it is. So now we can see the depths of friendship with Hermes.
You know, I think so. There was this series that we watched recently that, what is it called? Blood of Zeus, I think?
Yes.
And it was drawn by the same people who drew the Castlevania
show on Netflix.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like meh on that show. It was okay. I didn't love it, but I watched every single bit of it, so that has to say something, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing that I keep remembering after the fact is how cool Hermes was.
Yeah.
Like how they drew his cloak and how they drew him running around. It was really good.
Most exciting time together, you and I. Just
And
do your best and it'll all be fine.
Like, part of me, I guess I just didn't like the story because everybody was kind of mean and bad.
Yeah, I will say that it was after watching Castlevania, which I think they would take like charm breaks pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And there was some good levity to help balance out all of the awfulness that was happening.
Yeah.
And it would occasionally catch me off guard and just really make me laugh. Like especially some of the interactions between Alucard and Trevor.
Yeah.
But it was very straight-faced.
It was.
Almost the entire time.
There was one comic relief character and he stuck out like a sore thumb. I didn't like it very much.
The one with the whip?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know the one because he stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, well, I actually kind of appreciated his presence just because, again, he was the only source of levity. But I feel like I kind of admire that just because it felt very much like an animated version of old sword and sandal fantasy Greek-inspired like live action stuff. It was just very like, no, we're doing this and we're doing this really seriously and we've got one thing on our mind and it's telling you this big mythic story.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, hon? Say, you must know a lot of big shots, don't you? Other gods and all that.
I know a few.
Love her.
As a matter of fact, I heard recently from Hermes. Wanted you to know he felt sorry for how things ended up. That's something to do with when Orpheus went in here after you.
Oh, that's sweet of him. Nice enough guy for an Olympian. Yeah, he was the one who dropped me off here in the first place. No hard feelings here. He was just doing his job. It was Orpheus who messed everything up.
This is my favorite character design.
Here, enjoy.
Feeling better already?
Ugh.
But yeah, I get what you're saying about that series. And it was like, I did watch all of it, okay? Like, it wasn't bad. It's just that I like things to be a little bit more joyful and slapstick. But it did remind me of,
What, like Gladiator? There's one that I'm thinking of that I don't know the title. The image is sort of stuck in my mind. I think it's a pretty famous little bit of footage, but it's like a guy chained between two columns and he like pulls them down with his demigod strength
Yeah.
to free himself.
There is a movie that is very old that I'm thinking of, and a series that's much younger, but there's a movie that's very old, and I want to say that it has like the name like Titans in it or something like that, and it was like a really early example.
Clash of?
Maybe it was Clash of the Titans. It was a really early example of special effects techniques. Like when it came out, it was like, I can't believe you guys just made that ocean flood that Acropolis. Whoa!
I think we might be
Like Poseidon gets really mad, and
I think we might be talking about the same
We
film.
might be. Is it,
because
like-
I'm remembering like everything shaking and the columns falling over and a building falling down.
and like waves.
Oh, we should probably give this away.
I salute you, Lord Hermes, with this rarest of delicacies. Pretty rare here, anyway. You never show it, but I can only imagine how hard you must be working to back me up. Cheers, mate.
Aw. Did you give him some ambrosia?
You know, the last time anybody offered me ambrosia from the underworld was never before now. That's quite a gesture on your part. You could have just as well taken my services for granted, and I'd not have minded in the least. But thank you, cuz.
Yeah, I gave him an ambrosia. Oh, so just one more? I think that's interesting. I think he has one more level than any of the other gods of Olympus.
Do you see him more often?
No, I think that he's actually one of the ones that will not show up in the first couple of runs. Speed boost, speed boost. Let's re-roll and get a speed boost, speed up. Oof. I don't know. I mean, man. Yeah.
And there was another series that it reminded me of even more.
Yeah.
There's a series from when I was a kid that I was obsessed with because I liked Pegasus.
Mm-hmm.
And it was part of the Long Ago and Far Away show
This, Lerny.
that was on PBS, and it was like a storytelling show. But it had really similar, like it was animated, and it was a story about, it might have been about more than Pegasus, but it was about Pegasus for me.
So there's it was a monotype show. There was only one character. It was a flying horse.
And like, you know, people showed up and did things around the flying horse, but I mean,
Who cares? you know?
yeah, who cares about those? But it's funny because the illustration style is not completely dissimilar, like the faces and everything, especially. It makes me want to go back and find it. I don't know how I would though. I really liked that show when I was little. That's where a lot of my first stories came from. Like the first folk tales and things that I was really into, well, watching anyways. I mean, I read a lot of books as a kid. Well, cool people read them to me. I didn't like reading when I was little. I kind of hated it. But I really liked stories. But like seeing them told in a visual way, that's where that came from. Like Long Ago and Far Away stories are definitely like the beginnings of me caring about things like mythology and folktales and stuff like that. All of the things that make games interesting now.
I didn't realize that the victory slate also says Lerny.
It does.
Hydra.
You are correct, Father.
Oh man. That's not bad coming up. Okay, that's good. Have I explained like the main gimmick of the enemies in Elysium?
I don't think you have.
all of the foot soldiers that you'll see running around, so the humanoids, they will. Oh, wait, it's a transistor thing. I think I've thought that before, but it only just sort of like crystallized into language.
Just now?
Yeah. So you remember how whenever you would slay an enemy in transistor, oftentimes they would spawn a cell, and then after a certain amount of time, it would turn back into an enemy proper?
Yeah.
That. It's that. Keep an eye out for it. Whenever I slay a humanoid, a little like dark eye seed will show up. And I have to kill that before it comes back into contact with a phantasmal weapon that's left behind. Oh wait, before we go, how am I doing on that lambent plume? 12? 12, that's not bad. Move speed, dodge chance, and because of that boon from Hermes, it's also an attack buff.